Hey, what's up, y'all? So, the other day on Instagram, I made a post, got a lot more attention than I thought it would. So I wanted to make a video going a little more in depth and showing you the method as to how to use these tools to your advantage. So here we have a variety of cars with different exhaust tips. Some use pen tips and others use electrical ferrules. And this one here uses axle tubes. I kind of cut them really tiny and glued them in that spot. But we're not going to be covering these today. We're going to be covering the rest of these over here. So the first method we're going to kind of talk about is the easiest one, and probably something you already have around your house, which is using pen tips. This is one of my favorite methods to use. Everyone has a pen with a chrome tip laying around their house, and they do a really good job at making a really believable exhaust. This one's pretty cool because you saw this one in the past video, but I used two pen tips because it's got a dual exhaust and just has a really mean look to it. So that's kind of what those look like. I personally love this look. I think it's really cool. It works best on like JDM and race cars where you want like a big, mean exhaust on there. And I love how this looks. It's super easy to do. So all you need are pens like this, and these are the pens that click. They don't have caps, they just click. So what you want to do is go on eBay and search for misprint pens in bulk. I'll put like a screenshot kind of in the thing here. I got a whole bunch of them, and they all have these chrome tips. So the important part really is to look for pens that click. You don't want pens with caps, you want the pens with chrome tips. And most of the time, pens that click will have a chrome tip. I've run into a few that have gold tips, and those don't work for this purpose. So in your listing, try and see if it says, or if they show any pictures of the pens, open or like that, because then you'll kind of have a better idea. But most of the time, they should have a chrome tip on there. So here's what you want to do: take your pen, open it up, pull this piece out, take a paper clip and put it in there and try to displace as much of that ink as you can, and drop it in there and let it sit. I let them sit for at least 24 hours or so. I pulled them out and wiped them off, and they look like this here. So then once I pull them out, I displace more of the ink again, just in case there's any extra stuff in there. As you can see, there was. Give everything a good wipe. You just want to make sure there's nothing that's going to come out and ruin your custom. It looks good. It's not drawing anymore, so that's a good thing. Okay, so then you're left with something like this. Most Hot Wheels have a spot, on the car already for the muffler. So as you can see here, the casting, has two indentions that go up, for the exhaust. So what you want to do, I usually use a piece like this to start and drill all that out. And then I'll come through with this. It's kind of covered in plastic, so I used it recently, and I'll clean it up with that. And then I always do this before I do any painting. I usually do it before I even drop it in the thinner, because then you can use the indentions here to kind of help you clean it up and to make sure everything is precise, and then it will fit and it will lay down correctly. So once you have your little valley kind of carved out, you can start dropping in your piece, and you just kind of want to make sure that it's at the relative height, right height or right depth rather, for the casting, to make it, hug those curves as much as you want. On this one, it's kind of spaced out a little bit, but I want it to look like that to kind of give it that kind of race car feel. So real quick, some cars have the indentation. So in the case of cars like this, just drill out or clear out enough of the plastic material so you can make this fit flush, because you're not going to have a curved line to kind of guide you into the right exact spot. So that's what that looks like from the bottom. And if you want, you can even add paper clips, that go all the way to the engine area to kind of give it that to mimic the exhaust pipes. So that's pretty much that method. It's super simple. You probably already have pens at your house, and you can get started with that one right away. But I definitely recommend the eBay method, because you can get a bunch of these things for cheap that you can just tear up and not worry about not having a pen to write with. So with that being said, let's move on to the next method. Okay, so the next method we're going to cover is using electrical ferrules. So the following cars are using electrical ferrules for their exhausts. It's going to be this one here, this one here. So on this one back here too, which you guys saw this whole build in a past video. I think you guys liked it. So this one also uses the ferrules as well. Now this method is super simple. You're using these pieces here. You can get them from Amazon. It's a lot less work. It's super simple, but it's probably something you don't already have in your house. You might have to order these and wait a couple days to get them. So I'm going to put a screenshot of the kit that I bought right here. Now this kit has these plastic jackets around them. They can be kind of annoying to get off, and someone showed me they actually sell these without the jackets. So I'm going to put another screenshot here of what you search to find the ones that are just a straight metal with no jacket. I'm going to show you real quick how to get the jacket off if you're going to go with the method. If you're going to order them with the plastic, I don't think it really matters. You're probably better off ordering without it, but it is possible to get these off and make it work. So the difference really is here. So this car has the flared ends, and that flared end is inside the plastic bit. The flared end's pretty cool. It kind of looks like something you would see on a race car. And then this is the other end, which is just the classic, flat end. And that's also cool too. It's, pretty classic, pretty original. So, I mean, they both work. It's just a style preference, really. Okay, so what I've normally done, and it's going to be hard doing this with two cameras in front of me, is use an X-Acto blade. And you kind of want to see if you can not cut yourself, but chop right down the center of it until you hit the metal piece. You don't want to go too far, because if you hit the metal piece, you risk kind of breaking it. Players help, because you really just want to push it out of the jacket. It's a lot easier said than done. So I got it kind of exposed there. There we go, got it. Okay, so now I got the line focus here. Let me go to this camera. The flared end. Or I got the rounded end. And these are cool because you can get 500 of them for $8. So they're insanely stupid cheap. And they're really easy to use. Again, you're going to bust out your Dremel tool. You want to probably use something like this or something like that. And then you just want to come in, and this casting already had a slight indentation where the exhaust should be. So this one has two of the smallest ones together, and it kind of looks like one of those old school mufflers. But then you can also use the larger ones too, and give it that kind of effect, or this kind of effect. Or I've also used it on this one as well. So this one has, one large one. This car definitely rocks those exhausts very well. I like how it turned out. This is a really simple, easy method. I mean, this car, like I said, is not even painted. We just wheel swapped, lowered, and exhaust. And, just that simple little modification takes it up such a huge notch, I think. And then, of course, this one was a lot more modification. But those exhausts really help to bring out that aggressive, race car look, I think. This is honestly one of my favorite builds that I've ever done. It's just so detailed, the little canards and splitter. All that's handmade too. You can check it out in the video. The tow hook's a little bit unrealistically big, I know, but it's all handmade, so I think it's cool. This one also has the dual. This one's not one of my best customs, but it rolls. So this one's also unpainted. This one didn't have a little lip for the exhaust, so just kind of got rid of the old one and glued this one in its place. So that pretty much is the ferrules. They're super easy to use. If you get the ones without jackets, you don't really need to worry about cutting it. You can just use them straight up. But if they don't have them in stock or whatever, these ones are totally usable as well. This is the biggest size. They kind of mimic like a 4x4 exhaust pipe. I don't use these ones as much. Same with the smallest ones, which are the white ones. But I mainly use like the red, the black, and the blue. So the whole kit's very useful. I've even seen people use these lately as like axles, because like this size is pretty much the size of like the axle tube. So that's pretty cool. They have a lot of uses. And then I've even used them as gun barrels. As you can see here, I have one here and one here. I think it's the gray ones. Super simple modification. Just took it up a huge notch. Just got rid of the plastic jacket and glued it on the end. And it came out perfect, I think. So side by side, this one has the pen, this one has the ferrule, and they both look sweet. So if you want to take your customization up a notch, I definitely recommend these. Like I said, you don't even have to paint it. This is one of those things that you could just literally just do this, or wheel swap it, do this, and paint the inside, and you got yourself a really, really nice custom. So it just adds a lot of detail for something that's so easy and so simple to do. So if you got any questions, please drop them below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. That about wraps it up. So I'll see you in the next video. I'm working on some more Hexagear stuff. I got that coming, and I got a whole backlog of Gunpla too, so I'm going to be working on that soon as well. But if you got any ideas for videos, drop them in the comments. I'm really interested to hear. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.